What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone out there is doing well on a Friday, getting ready for week 12 of the college football season. So, yeah, guys, hope you all are getting done with your big projects at work, wrapping up everything for the weekend so you can sit back and relax and watch some good old college football. Got some great games coming up this weekend. As always, guys, we appreciate you all tapping in with us on the show, engaging with us and all of our great listeners and everyone that's chimed in with us. If you want to tap in with us, of course, we're on X, Instagram, TikTok at BD Sportscast. You can find all of our content there. If you want to listen to all of our past and present episodes, you can listen to us on a bevy of your favorite podcast applications, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it, we are on there. And also, if you listen to us on our live Sunday streams here on our official YouTube channel, and also on our official Twitch channel at Breakdown Video Game Cast, where Chris and I are playing some video games from time to time. We appreciate that as well also. So, yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, guys. Definitely engage with our audience as we're trying to get to 100 subscribers, guys. If we can get to 100 subscribers, we, Chris and I, will definitely put your name into a raffle for a chance to win some free swag, courtesy of Chris and I, of your favorite school, to show that school spirit and a token of our gratitude. We appreciate you guys, what you do here on the Breakdown Sportscast and building this great community as we love to tap in on the greatest sport ever, that is college football. So, yeah, guys, definitely do that. Tell your friends out there, tell your folks who we are and what we're all about, and that is providing some of the best content here on YouTube and all around social media in terms of college football. So, as always, guys, we appreciate you all's support. As always, I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, brother?
What up? What up? What's going on, Kory? Just doing all right, man. It's we're wrapping up the week, like you said. So I'm ready to get to some of these games. We got some high profile matchups, some games that we've been waiting on all season long, some revenge games at that. When you look at how things played out last season, and then we also got some little hidden gems, some underrated matchups as well. So it's a nice little interesting slate as we continue November football, Kory.
I agree with you, Chris. Yeah, a great slate of games this week in week 12. It's November, so you know what that means. It is the month of chaos, and while we didn't get a whole bunch of chaos last week, we did get a couple of games that probably caught some people off guard. So
Mm-hmm.
it's that's normal. That's what you get in the month of November, Chris. And this is why we live for these moments to talk about some of these games each and every week. You never know who's going to get got out there in college football.
Yeah, I mean Indiana was the catch of if it wasn't for the catch of the year, Indiana would have got. So we definitely were right there on the cusp of some real chaos, and I think we're going to see a team that's honestly in the top 12 that's ranked in the playoff. Um, I think we'll see every weekend somebody in that top 12 get seriously scared. So we'll see who happens to be that team this weekend.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you, Chris. Well, partner, are you all ready to talk about? Well, before we talk about the games, are you all ready to kind of delve into week 2 of the CFP rankings?
Yeah, we can go ahead and check them out real quick. There's a little bit of a shake up, not too much going on, but just a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little bit of a shake up. So I have it here on the screen, folks. Your top 25 rankings for this week. Um, I'll start off with 25 and work our way up as always. So, starting at 25, we have Cincinnati. Number 24, USF. Number 23, we have Tennessee. 22, Pittsburgh, and 21, Iowa. So, what are your thoughts about this first crop, Chris?
Seems like the committee put some respect on Iowa's name. You know, a lot of times it seems like a loss to a team would automatically get you bounced out of that top 25, but they recognize who Iowa is and how good of a team Oregon is, and showed them some respect by keeping them in the top 25. But so far so good. I don't mind that ranking at all for those teams.
Me either. Me either. I think when we talk about the game a little bit later on in the show, Pittsburgh sitting nicely at number 22. Tennessee 23 right now. So far USF is trying to make their case into a college football playoff berth. They played some really good football all season. So we'll see how they finish. So and then you got Cincinnati at 25 right now. Still a good team, but they they did a lot for them to try to make a case to get back into it. So yeah, and like you said with Iowa, I think this team is leaps and bounds of what a lot of people had thought in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
So so yeah, that's 21 through 25. We'll go ahead and we'll go to 16 to 20. We'll start off at 20. Number 20 is Louisville, and we'll go into 19. 19, we have Virginia. Number 18, Michigan. Number 17, USC, and we have Georgia Tech at 16. So, yeah, that's 16 through 20. Chris, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I mean USC has quietly they're right there in the mix. They need a few things to break their way, but USC gets a big win this weekend over Iowa. I think they will have a case to try to be right there and creep into that top 12. So, I like what I've seen from Trojan so far. And I think it's a credit to Lincoln Riley and his squad to be right here, in November, right there with a chance to make the playoffs. So we'll see if they can continue to climb up the rankings.
Yeah. I mean, USC, they've been fighting all year, Chris. I mean, we saw that win against Michigan. That very much impressed me. And, I was impressed with Jay Maava all year. There was a point in time, Chris, where, we were looking at him and we were like, look, some has at some point they had to break through with a talent like Jaden Maava and really showcase that hey they belong in the top 25. They deserve a little bit more respect than
Mm-hmm.
maybe some of the national media want to give them. They've been playing some really good football. Have they been perfect all the time? No, but neither has a lot of teams
Yeah.
out there in college football this season. So they've been keeping their head down and just been playing good football and been pretty much focusing on themselves. That's pretty much all you can do. And hey, I give kudos to them. They've been doing pretty well so far. As for some of the other teams out there, Georgia Tech, is still trying to make their case. They got a couple games left. We all know about the last game of the season against Georgia. That's going to be interesting. So Michigan right now, this is a fairly a young team right now, still trying to find themselves with Bryce Underwood. Um, it's we didn't expect Michigan to just be like, oh, they're playoff team this year. I mean, hey, anything can happen, but it's kind of difficult at times when you're bringing in a true freshman quarterback and you're having him learn on the fly in big games, and the ball isn't always going to roll your way on some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I think about Michigan. Virginia, they've been playing some really good football right now. So yeah, shout out to them. They have an opportunity to definitely make their case into the ACC standing. So, and they already have. So they're at this point now. They're just really trying to find ways to stay relevant in the ACC race. So, and Louisville, Louisville is also trying to do that as well. So, um, but it's the life that you live in when you're in the ACC conference. You really never know what you're going to get half the time. It's almost like the Big 12. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts about 16 through 20. So we'll move into 11 through 15. We'll start off at 15. Chris, Miami comes in at the 15 spot. Number 14, Vanderbilt. Number 13, Utah. Number 12, BYU. And number 11, Oklahoma. So what are your thoughts about 11 through 15, Chris?
Yeah, so of course, looks like BYU didn't fall too far after their loss. So it seems like the committee is respecting teams losing to good competition. So that's what I've kind of gained from Iowa's ranking, and you look at where BYU is ranked, um, and then Miami has a pulse following those losses from Virginia and Louisville this past weekend. Miami won against Syracuse, and Miami can hang tight, continue to get some wins and not trick this thing away. They can maybe work themselves back in that conversation. So it looks like they're in a prime position to creep their way back into that top 12. But yeah, that's the overarching thing I'm seeing. I feel like, Kory, is that as long as you play a good competitive game against a really good team, a team that is currently looked at as a playoff team, you're not going to get penalized too much for that loss.
No, not at all, not at all. And I think, like you said, after Virginia and Louisville both lost their games, that gave Miami a little bit of life, as we saw last week. And all Miami really can do when you look at their schedule is just win out, just play the level of football that they need to play. That we, going into this season, I'd probably say the first 5 to 6 weeks into the season, they have to play that level of Miami football. If they can do that, then hey, there's obviously an opportunity for them still. So that's pretty much their hurdle that they have to go through. For Vanderbilt, really good team. They just have come up in some moments short against some teams. Of course, Alabama's one that came up short with them. Came up short against Texas, and that was a game that was getting very interesting. They
Mm-hmm.
one could argue that they got the ball back, it would have really got interesting. They probably would have tried it down there to score.
They really should have recovered that onside kick.
Yeah, yeah. Rain or not, they definitely should have recovered it. And yeah, Utah playing really good football right now, trying to make a case. Chris,
They got a tough trap game this week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Playing at Baylor.
Right.
That's an interesting matchup, So
Yeah. So and look, we've seen teams get beat in Waco. It happens. So that's something that they also have to deal with too. And then yeah, we have BYU. BYU had that heartbreaking loss against Texas Tech, but hey, all you have to do is win out and possibly meet up with Texas Tech again. So, which will be an interesting game. And then Oklahoma, still knocking on the door. They have a great opportunity that we'll be talking about this weekend, Chris, taking on the Crimson Tide. Can John Mateer and company pull that off? That would be a great win for that group. A great win for Brent Venables if they can put together a great game plan at Brian Denny. So, yeah, uh, definitely, this crop right here, 11 through 15, a lot of room um, to make up. Need a little help, but the opportunities are there if they want to make some noise.
Yeah, I mean, we know how college football is, man. Even the last weekend of the season, a whole lot of foolishness can go down. We've seen it. I mean, you remember the year 2007 very vividly, and how much of a roller coaster season that was. Where we ended up getting teams with two losses in the national championship game. I mean, it was this the wildest thing I ever seen in my college football life, Kory. But yeah, anything can happen. So there's a lot of ball left to be played. Simply put.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, well, we will see, man. We will definitely see. So, and moving along, we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and finish out with pretty much the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
We do have BYU 12, 11 Oklahoma in terms of the seeding for the playoffs. But number 10, we have Texas. Number 9, Notre Dame. 8, Oregon. 7, Ole Miss. 6, Texas Tech. And then top 5, we got 5, Georgia. 4, Alabama. 3, A&M. 2, Indiana. And, of course, number 1, Ohio State. So that's pretty much it on your top 25, Chris. What are your thoughts about the remaining 10?
Whether you like or don't like where some of these teams are ranked, it's all going to sort itself out when it starts this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and Texas play. Oklahoma and Alabama play. Ohio State will eventually play Michigan. A&M has Texas on its slate too before the season wraps up. I mean, there's a lot that will be going down here as we wrap things up, Kory, and I don't mind it. And what I'm just kind of curious to see is once the aftermath happens, where these teams will be ranked. There will be some losses. Um, how far do some of these teams slide when it happens? But I have no complaints about where these teams are currently ranked at. I'm just keeping my eyes peeled on when we have these teams match up and we get a couple, a loss or two added to some of these guys' resumes, to their record. Where will they end up? So I'm fine now. I'm cool. I have no complaints. I'm not gonna say nothing bad. I'm watching you, committee. That's all.
And I'm watching you, committee, too. We're all watching you. Yeah, no, Chris, you're absolutely right, man. I look at this ranking this week a little bit no different than I saw last week's ranking. I know some people probably feel a little um a little perturbed by like USC and where they're ranked at. Some people are saying they're a better team than probably like a Vanderbilt or someone. But I mean, I think I still like them at 17. I still like where the top 12 is right now. And you're absolutely right, Chris. It's going to sort itself out. We got OU Bama coming up this week. We got Pitt taking on Notre Dame this week. So, we got some good games, some good quality games coming up this weekend to kind of sort this thing out. And I think overall, I think it will. So, I'm not worried at all about what I see this week in the top 25. Because yeah, as we see every year, it always sorts itself out in these big games.
Right, right. So so yeah, there's a lot that's gonna happen. I mean, we still got Tennessee Vandy, which would be an underrated matchup. That has to happen. Um, Ole Miss plays Florida. Could that be a trap game? We'll see. Ole Miss still have to play Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of ball to be played. So we'll see how where these teams ultimately finish and wind up. But Ohio State's been the most consistent team this season. You could say Texas maybe is being ranked in the top 10 off its brand name. I wouldn't argue with that. Uh, but at the same time, too, though, we're going to find out just how for real Texas is starting this weekend. And then when they play the Aggies as well, if they can win that game too, then you have to have Texas as a playoff team. So no, we're gonna all figure out this thing together and see who's for real and who ain't.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's the only way you can do is let it play out on the gridiron. That's all you can do to find out who are the top 12 best teams in college football.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And if it happens to all be teams from the same conference, whether it's the SEC,
mhm.
the Big Ten, or if you got to throw like three Big 12 teams in the mix, I mean, you just make it do the right thing, committee. You know, we'll see how it all happens and how it all goes down. But if it ends up being six SEC teams, well, it's six SEC teams that should be in the playoff.
Yeah,
We just want the best teams in the playoff.
right. Yeah, that's all we want. And I think these last couple of weeks, we're definitely gonna find that. We're gonna find that out.
Oh yeah, oh
So
yeah.
yeah, man. Can't wait. Got a couple more weeks left, but yeah, I'd say a good two first, two good first weeks of the college football top 25.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. Well, now, Chris, we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and talk about week 12 of the college football season. We got some
Mm-hmm.
great games coming up this weekend. We'll go ahead and kick it off with this game, Chris. Texas traveling to Athens, Georgia to
Mm-hmm.
take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia, the line right now has Georgia as a 6.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Over under is at 50.5. I'll go ahead and start with you, Chris. It, I've been thinking about this game all weekend. It's gonna be a tough one. Who you got?
Yeah, it is going to be a tough one. I feel like these two teams are rounding into form. Kory, it was a bumpy road to start the season for both of them. Texas just the offense looked inept. Did not look like a team coached by Sark. These guys were struggling to get the ball moving downfield. Arch had everybody questioning why he's starting quarterback for UT. Um, it was rough. It was a rough beginning. And same thing for Georgia. Hasn't been perfect for Georgia either. But I think we saw against Mississippi State, Kory, Georgia play probably its most complete game of the season from first quarter to fourth. Georgia played great football and played a game that Georgia fans could be happy about. And so I feel like heading into this game, I think Georgia is rounding into form. You're going to be going up against a tough defense. We both understand Texas has a really good defensive unit. Um, but I think Georgia's proven that when this team is executing and they're in rhythm, Mike Bobo and company, they can scheme it up to where the Bulldogs are tough. Tough. You got some playmakers. And the running game has found itself, whether it's Frazier back there running the ball. We know about Georgia's tight end you with all the guys they have at tight end. When you look at Delp and Lucky, uh, Georgia's solid, and I think they'll win this one. I think it's going to be a close game though, Corey. That spread is 6.5. I feel like there's a lot of value in Texas. I know Texas has not played up to expectations so far this year. We're still waiting on that signature Texas game. Because even though we thought we were getting it against Vandy, they started to strip the game away in the fourth quarter, Corey. So you can't even say that was, the game as a Longhorns fan that you're proud of. But I think this team recognizes that they have to step it up. They'll be even more locked in because they are on the road, and you have to be locked in to win at an environment like Sanford Stadium. I think Texas will play a very tough game. I think Georgia edges them out. And I think it'll start with Georgia's ability to get the play action passing going. It all starts with running the football with Frazier and Kirby Smart and company and his guys. If they can get that play action passing attack going and really, make some explosive plays, whether it's Branch or Humphreys or Cash Jones getting the ball too and getting involved, making some plays. You can get those guys in space and make some plays. I think Georgia will do enough of that, and I think we're going to get a semi high scoring game. I'm thinking like a 27-24, or 30-27 in that range. I think the teams will put up points on each other. I think Georgia will have just enough, just one more bullet in the chamber, one more big play to make. And I think the Bulldogs will win this one. But man, I just have a feeling about Texas. And you know how I feel about Texas this year. I haven't been high on Texas, but I just have a feeling that they will come out and play a great game, and this can get real interesting.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that all week, Chris. Like, which Texas are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a are we gonna get a motivated Texas that's definitely gonna seize the moment? Look, this is a crazy environment. Athens Athens is look, it gets wild in Sanford State.
And when do you ever get Texas as a 6.5 point underdog? You know what I'm
Never.
saying?
You hardly don't see that
You don't see
often.
that.
So, Vegas is looking at this game, Chris, as look, they're looking at Texas as possibly going to come in swinging in this one. I'm looking at that a little bit too. I don't think Georgia fans should just go in, and I've seen it this week. I know you probably have too a little bit, Chris. They're feeling themselves after that Mississippi State win. They're saying, look, this is the Georgia that people should be feared of right now. Like, this is the Georgia team that you don't want to mess with right now. And look, we always see Georgia find a way late in the season to make a surge. We always see that. That's what Kirby Smart does. That's what he does best. So, looking at this game, Texas has been very up and down this season. We all know that. Everyone knows that. Can they finally break through and actually compete this Saturday? I think they can, Chris. I think Arch Manning is starting to come into his own, which is a good thing because earlier in the season, we did not see that from him. Arch Manning late in the season looks totally different from Arch Manning early in the season. That's just the truth. I think this defense from Texas is definitely going to they're definitely going to challenge that offensive line and that run game from Georgia. I don't think Georgia's going to just ball out and have like this crazy rushing day like they did last week against Mississippi State. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to have to um, put the ball in the air a little bit. We'll still have to be honest, run the ball. Um, definitely do a lot of play action, which they already do. And yeah, Gunnar Stockton's going to have to be an athlete in this game too. He's gonna have to show up, which he can. We've seen that from him this season. He showed us that he can do that. But I think all of that is going to have to be a big thing for them if they want to stay in this game. And defense also, they're going to have to show up too, especially that secondary that's been susceptible this season.
Yeah.
I think out of all the games, Chris, that we've seen Georgia this season, the secondary is going to have to show up and show out in this game, because if they don't, Texas can get you.
Wingo, tackle in space.
Yeah, a lot of those guys out there. I don't think Georgia wants to, sit back there and be lackadaisical against this receiving corps for Texas, because Sark knows that he's going to draw up some plays and he's going to air it out and see what happens.
We already know he's going to draw up the play with the orbit motion and screen pass to the outside to Wingo. You dialed it up the last 2 weeks.
It's worked.
It's worked.
It just works. Oh man, yeah. We know we're gonna see that play.
Oh man, but yeah, you're right, Kory. Georgia's DBs, man, you gotta be ready to chop your feet and a play like that. Make sure it's just a 4-yard gain and not a 64-yard gain for 6, because that's what's been happening the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So, look, they know what they need to do in order to win this ball game. And look, I'm sure practice this week has not been too kind to that secondary. And Kirby Smart knows that. And look, he has to get these guys ready to play.
He's a secondary guy, Kory.
Yeah,
that's his bread and butter.
Exactly. So hey, hey, secondary for Georgia. Look, you gotta show up, because your head coach, I know he's been on you all week. You gotta show up and show out. So yeah, man, I'm very interested to see the tail of the tape in this ball game, because this is gonna be a heavyweight matchup, kind of like it was last year. Georgia ended up winning. Could that happen again? We'll see. If I had to put a score to it, though, man, playing in Sanford Stadium, it's tough.
I know.
Give me Georgia 24, Texas 17. It's gonna be tough. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. But I think the Georgia Bulldogs pull it off. And hey, they're gonna show their dominance late in this game. I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but I feel it coming.
I mean, I want Georgia to win for my own personal reasons. But I just feel very uneasy about this game, Kory, as a Georgia fan. My stomach is in knots. I just have a feeling, man. My spidey senses are tingling. So I'm picking Georgia to win, but I feel like Texas as an underdog. Take the points. This game can play out many different ways. And I wouldn't be shocked if Texas wins. If they shock the world, quote unquote, and go into Sanford Stadium and win between the hedges, I would not be surprised.
Look, it's not easy to win between the hedges. But hey, if someone can do it, if someone can go in and beat Georgia in Athens for the second time this season, when does that ever happen? When does Georgia get beat multiple times? In Athens, like that's crazy. But if they can do that, Chris, yeah, I think this Texas team is definitely trending in the right direction to finish the season the right way. And boy, if they do that,
and they need it.
Yeah, they need
They
it.
got they got to split at least, between this game and A&M. They got to leave with something. Like Denzel Washington, I'm gonna leave with something.
Exactly.
They got to take at least one of them games.
I know. But hey, man, if that happens, we talking about a Texas A&M game, Chris. That game is going to be massive.
Mm-hmm. SEC championship berth on the line.
Yeah, and guess what else is going to be massive about that game, Chris? Those tickets.
If they weren't already.
If you look online, we're talking about $1,000+ tickets. Hell, man, I think some of the tickets are like, I think I saw there's like 10K tickets for sale just for that game. And that's before this game. Yeah. Who knows what might happen?
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's gonna be something else. But hey, we're gonna be all here for it. So yeah, man. But yeah, it's gonna be a great game. Can't wait to delve into it on our Sunday show, Chris. It should be a fun one indeed. So now we'll go ahead and move along, Chris, to our second premier game of the week. We have Notre Dame traveling to take on Pittsburgh. The line right now has Notre Dame as a 12.5 point favorite, Chris. Over under is at 53.5. So it's gonna be an interesting ball game to see what happens in this one. Notre Dame trying to make a name for themselves late in the season. They've been pretty much staying focused after losing to A&M, Chris. People were saying Notre Dame was done. Like, there's no way Notre Dame can make it back into the
little
CFP.
did everybody know A&M is a top 5 team in the nation that's playoff bound.
Right. Yeah, look, at that point now, I think people owe A&M an apology. Exactly. But overall, Chris, Notre Dame, they've been playing some really good football. Look, I understand their schedule is their schedule, but they still have to play it. I still believe in this Notre Dame football team. And we're going to find out what this team is really made of, taking on a Pittsburgh team that's 7-2 right now. Mason Heisel been playing some really good football this season. I want to see what this Notre Dame team is capable of, but I also want to see what this Pittsburgh team is capable of too. A team that's been playing some really good football as well. Got a really good quarterback. Running back's been playing very well. Yeah, I really want to see what this team is made of this weekend, because Pittsburgh, just like Notre Dame, they have a great opportunity to make a case to be a playoff team this season. So, what are your thoughts, Chris, about this game this weekend?
Yeah, I think a lot really hinges on, I think, Pitt's defense really giving them a chance to win this game. Pitt's been some shootouts. We know how that Louisville game went. I mean, it was just a back and forth affair earlier in the season. And I think you don't want to let Notre Dame establish the running game. You don't want Jeremiah Love to get cooking. If Jeremiah Love, if he gets cooking, it ain't him that's cooking. Actually, it's you that's getting cooked.
Ice Cube, it's you. It's you.
You like, what's that smell? And you know, that's your ass on fire. He's torching you. So yeah, if Jeremiah Love gets going, it can get out of hand. This game can get out of hand. But if Pitt's front seven comes to play ball, and hey, Notre Dame's trying to run the ball, and you stopping them, 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain. Now it's 3rd and 7, Kory, and Carr has to make a play. You know, Hey, well, I think Pitt will take their chances with CJ having to make a play at QB. So we'll see if they can put Notre Dame behind the chains. Make this a game where they gotta convert third and longs, 3rd and 6+. And if that's the case, we have a chance for this to be interesting. This could be a close one. But if Notre Dame is consistently matriculating the ball down the field, moving at their own pace, it's 2nd and short, 3rd and 1. I mean, if it's that kind of game, I think it's going to be a long game for Pitt. And I anticipate it being a long game for Pitt, honestly. The way Jeremiah Love is running the football, especially the last few weeks, Kory, I mean, he's just been going to work. Um, I think Notre Dame runs away with this one. No pun intended. I'm going to say the Irish win 31-10. But I'm hoping it's a good game. I hope Pittsburgh defense comes to play because Pitt could put up some points. And if you put the pressure on Notre Dame's defense to make plays, it's a whole different game. But I really think it hinges on Pittsburgh's defense setting the tone in this one, Kory.
Agreed, Chris. I think you mentioned Jeremiah Love. This man can take flight and he could ball on you all game long if the defense isn't careful. That's going to be the name of the game in this one. Can Pittsburgh's defense stop the rushing attack of Notre Dame? Right now, Jeremiah Love, look up his. Let me show you his stats. He has 154 carries for almost 1,000 yards. He's at 988 right now with 13 touchdowns. The man is on fire right now. He's running out of his mind. Pitt, look, I better see y'all grabbing ankles. I'm talking about squaring up because if you don't, he gonna square up with you in this one, and it's not gonna be too pretty. That's all I gotta say. So, no, Chris, you're absolutely right. I think that's what this game is going to come down to. It's going to come down to if Pitt wants to win this game, they're going to have to stop Jeremiah Love on defense and force CJ Carr to become a passer. If they can do that, maybe the ball can roll their way. We'll see. Notre Dame still has really good receivers at the end of the day. No issue with that. But hey, I think
if you're gonna pick your poison, that's the one you're gonna pick.
I think so. I think that's what I would do if I was Pitt. So, hey, look, we'll see. We'll see what happens in this game because I think this is definitely going to be one of those interesting ball games to start the day. 11 a.m. kickoff. So that's definitely going to be a game I'm going to be keeping my eye on this weekend. So if I had to put a score on it, Chris, I'm going to say Notre Dame wins 35-17. I think there'll be a little bit of that fight probably in the first half, and then Notre Dame will definitely put pedal to the metal and run off with it. Oh. Pun intended.
Nah, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. It's no need in trying to think too hard about this one.
Yeah,
we know how Notre Dame plays, and if Love is rolling, Notre Dame is rolling too.
absolutely. So, hey, we'll see what happens for sure. So it should be a good one. Well, our last premier game, Chris, that we'll talk about before we head into Bolton's bets. We have Oklahoma traveling to T-Town to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. The line has Alabama as a 5.5 point favorite, Chris.
Hmm.
Over under is at 45.5. So start off with you, good sir. Who you got in this one? Because man, this game, it, you talk about a playoff play-in game.
Oh man. Oh man. I've thought a lot about this one, Kory. You know, Alabama is a very good team, and they have all season long. This defense, when needed, has stepped up big time for the Tide. Whether it was, finding a way to shut down South Carolina in the fourth quarter, and then they turned that game around where it looked like it was about to be disaster time. Whether it's the Vandy game, the turnovers they forced in the red zone against Pavia and the Commodores. I mean, against Georgia, they stepped up and made plays. We've seen this defense. It's low key, Kory. They got a little bit of like 2014 Mississippi State to them, where you might move the ball, but when needed, Bama's that Mississippi State defense that year, when called upon, they made timely plays, and that's how Bama's defense has been this year. We're going to need that again in this one, I think, Kory,
Mm-hmm.
because as we know, like the kryptonite for Bama has been the mobile quarterback. John Mateer is a guy that can make plays with his arm and with his legs, and this is a much improved Oklahoma team that last season, despite all of its troubles, put a whooping on Bama. And coming into this year, they have that athletic quarterback instead of Jackson Arnold. It's Mateer, um, and they have an even better defense. A defense that was stout last season is even better this season. And we're going to find out a lot about this Alabama team, Kory, because I feel like they have escaped some real sticky situations this year. And I think Oklahoma they can propose an opportunity to make this game real sticky too. I think based on what we've seen under the Kalen DeBoer era and how things have been, I think Oklahoma with John Mateer, who looked much better, who looked healthy in his last game, I think Oklahoma will come into Brian Denny with the game plan of trying to make the easy reads, take what's given to you, and also encourage John to run. I think Mateer will be running the ball. I think he gets at least 10 carries. I'm not saying they're going to be design carries, but I think he will be running the ball a lot. And this one could run for 70, 80 yards. And John Mateer, you see in that stat line, he has hit that 60 plus yard mark with rushing yards. That means we got a game on our hands, Kory. That means it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and John Mateer sees a lane, and he's picking up 15 yards and getting down and keeping the drive alive. That's tough to beat. And so I'm going to roll with Oklahoma finding a way. I think Bama, I'm not knocking Bama as a team, but I think there comes a point where you can only play with fire so long, Kory, before you get burned. And I think Oklahoma has the quarterback that can burn them. Ty Simpson will be going up against a really stout defense. This will be a lower scoring game. But I'm going to side with the Sooners to get a tough, hard fought win on the road, 23-20, in a game that will not disappoint, in a game Alabama could very well win because this defense is very timely, and they can maybe force interception in John Mateer late in the fourth quarter, and it'll seal the deal and put them in prime position to win the game. But I'm gonna side with the Sooners, Kory. Based off what we've seen, Mateer is the kind of quarterback that gives his team problems, that gives his defense problems. think he throws for 200, 220, runs for like 80, 85, 90. And Oklahoma wins this game 23-20 and a tight, just a classic SEC tussle.
Man, I like how the way you describe that game, Chris. It's almost like I watched it. It hasn't even happened yet. Oh man, I look. You got me ready to run through a brick wall to watch this game, man. I was already gonna watch it, but shoot, now look, I gotta be tuned in to watch this one. I gotta be locked in.
I appreciate it, brother. Hey, we gotta set the stage.
Yeah, gotta set the stage. Gotta set the stage, Chris. It's when you have games like this, that's par for the course at that point. But no. I definitely get what you're saying, Chris. Oklahoma, one of the best defenses in the country. Alabama finds ways to win. Sometimes we don't know how they find ways to win, but hey, it's very entertaining watching it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But in terms of both of these teams, Chris, man, they're two almost opposite teams in terms of how the way they execute. The only thing I can say is they execute in the way that makes this game what it is. Overall, yeah, man, I think if Mateer can find a way to get some really good yardage on the ground running and air the ball out to guys like Satania. Hand off the ball to Blaylock has been a really good running back as well. Complements that running attack from Oklahoma just as much as Mateer does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I think they have an opportunity. It's not gonna be in Norman, but hey, I think Oklahoma, seeing how the way they played at Rocky Top, which is another hostile environment, I could see them going into Brian Denny and winning this ball game. At times, Alabama has made really good plays that have helped them stay in games. They also have stunk up the field at times. We saw it last week. It
I'm about to say they
wasn't.
played the game they played last week against LSU, Kory. I don't think that beats Oklahoma.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, brother. I think if they keep playing like that, yeah, I think they're gonna have a pretty tough time stopping this Oklahoma team, and that's going to be a real problem. Oklahoma has really good defense. Their offense, when clicking, they can hurt you. So, yeah, Alabama's going to have a really good game plan. Look, I'm sure Kalen DeBoer has been looking at tape all week on the OU and preparing for it the best way he can. Um, yeah, I think if they can come out and play the game that they should play, that we know that they have because they have a lot of talent, this game could get very interesting. Um, you know, this season, Ty Simpson, he's been the bell cow for him, throwing the ball and escaping the outside the perimeter to keep drives alive. This week, he's gonna have a tall task, Chris, because that defense, they're definitely gonna be gunning for him. So, hey, we'll see. We'll see. If I had to put a score on it, Chris, I think I got to give it to Oklahoma. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very, very close. Give me Oklahoma 31, Alabama 28. Late game field goal wins them the ball game. And Oklahoma definitely submits themselves as a playoff team at that point. All the talk about,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh
does,
yeah.
does Oklahoma, have what it takes? Materials, gets hurt, has hand surgery in mid-season. All that would finally pay off with a victory over Alabama if they can get the job done. So that's my pick.
Yeah. I'm with you. We'll see if we're right. This will cause some chaos. This will stir the pot. This will be that big wooden spoon stirring the pot. We'll see how everything plays out. Of course, we're not ruling out that Alabama can win this game and maybe play up to its level of competition and win this game by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
That is not outside the realm of possibilities, Kory.
No,
You
no,
know,
it's not.
Ty Simpson is somebody that is proven himself to be a very good quarterback, if not, dare I say, a great quarterback. So that maybe we get Ty Simpson stepping up and playing much cleaner football that he played against LSU and has a big time game. That can happen. I just think this is going to be that 2000s kind of SEC game, Kory. And if it's a lower scoring game, similar to how we talked about Iowa, Oregon, like, hey, that low scoring game is what Iowa wanted, and Oregon found a way to win. They escaped, and Iowa was this close from a end zone touchdown to stealing that win from Oregon. But I feel like if this is a low scoring game, if it's in them 20s, and dare I say them teens, but if it's definitely in them teens, it's Oklahoma is happy. But if it's in them 20s, that's the kind of game Oklahoma wants. And if it's 23-20, which I think will be the case, that has Oklahoma written all over it. But if Alabama's offense is clicking, I don't know. I think that once we creep into them 30s, the high 20s into them 30s, Kory, I think that's Alabama territory. But I think Oklahoma wants to keep this 24 and under when it comes to the points.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Look, man, once you crack 20, once you get over 1 points against Alabama, man, that's the kind of game Kellen DeBoer wants. Make it a shootout. Make it a shootout. Hey, he's like, I don't care. Just throw it to Jeremy Bernard. Ryan Williams is open. Oh, throw it to him. He'll catch it. Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Chris. I think I'm definitely sure that he has that scripted on that play sheet. Kellen DeBoer has that script on his play sheet if it becomes a shootout. I think he wouldn't mind that.
Nah, not one bit. Not one bit. But it'll be Brent Venables over there combusting if he sees his defense giving up 30 points. Whether it's on the road, at home, neutral site field, it don't matter.
Oh man, he's gonna be blowing up like a hoverboard. Oh man, but no, this should be a fun game, Chris. I can't wait for us to talk about this game on our live show on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is quite interesting. I feel like there's some real value on the dogs this weekend. The underdogs, your Texases, your Oklahomas. I think they can step up and cause some ruckus this weekend.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Well, Chris, those are our premier games of the week. Before we head out of here, do you want to go ahead and talk about Bolton's bets for week 12? You folks out there, you want to make a little extra cash? Chris got you covered. And talking about some of the other premier games of the week. So, got Bolton's bets for week 12. We'll go ahead and start off, Chris, with this game. Georgia Tech taking on Boston College. Georgia Tech, the line right now is 16.5 in favor of Georgia Tech. Over under is at 60.5. Let the good folks know why you got Georgia Tech in this one.
Yeah, man. Georgia Tech is a really good team, contending for a playoff spot, Kory. Boston College is a really bad team whose season is over. Do they maybe have heart? Do they want to play spoiler? There is a chance this is their Super Bowl, Kory. I just don't think it will play out that way. I think Brent Key and company, he'll have Haynes King and those guys ready. And I think Haynes King and those guys feel like we have come too far to let Boston College get in the way of what we're trying to accomplish. And I see Georgia Tech putting it on them. Just quite frankly, I think this game will get out of hand. I think this is a runaway possibility. It could be a 45-14 kind of game. I think we can see Tech put up numbers. Haynes King should get a couple TDs on the ground in this one. I think Tech blows Boston College out the water. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a whole lot of leather being put to ass on the field.
Yeah. I think Georgia Tech definitely gonna be coming in mad in this game. You take a loss. We're gonna look at Boston College, and they're gonna push around Boston College. not because they want to have fun, just because they're mad after getting a loss. They want to make a statement.
You gotta take it out on somebody. It just happened to be you, Boston College.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but it's still the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. As the saying goes.
Exactly.
So yeah, man. We will see, but I'm definitely in favor of Georgia Tech too. I think there'll be too much for Boston College this weekend. So moving along, Chris, to the next game, you have South Carolina traveling to Texas A&M to take on those Aggies, those undefeated Aggies, Chris. The line has Texas A&M as a 19.5-point favorite. Over under is at 50.5. Let good folks know, Chris, why you got Texas A&M in this one. I'm sure it's almost a resemblance of the Georgia Tech game.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly. South Carolina's some stank. Point blank, period.
Oh yeah.
Texas A&M is not some stank. Texas A&M is a national championship contender. Quiet as kept, oddly enough. And I think this one gets ugly. I think, man, yeah, A&M's going to put it on them. It's just, this season's a lost season for the Gamecocks. I honestly, I see Shane Beamer. I think it is over. I think he's going to be heading out to Virginia Tech here soon. And I think the butt whooping that A&M delivers to South Carolina will help escort him on out of Columbia to Blacksburg. So yeah, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I think so too, Chris. Man, South Carolina, definitely a disappointment. If you wanted to talk about some teams that were disappointing this season, South Carolina, they're right up there on that list for me. Yeah, like, this was a team that me and you kind of were agreeance to. We thought that they had some clear-cut playoff aspirations this season. It did not happen. And now, they're looking like what Undertaker would say, dead man walking coming into College Station this weekend. Look, when they play power, but before kickoff, I don't know, man, you get chills. Because I know I do, and I'm just at home watching those games. Kyle Field, different place, different beast.
Boy, the 12th man. 12th man is one of them. That's one of them spots, Kory.
Yeah,
that's one of them ones.
Mm-hmm.
And we're asking a team that is all about Lenore Sellers. Like he's your only hope. You don't have no receivers. Running game's been iffy. We're asking him to go to the 12th man and win this. Nah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Now, I would not be upset as a fan of college football to to see it become a game. Now, as far as this segment goes, we don't think that's going to happen. We don't want that to happen.
No.
But that would say a lot about South Carolina if they make this a game. So we'll see, Kory.
Yeah. No, I'll say this: if they make, if South Carolina somehow makes this a game, man, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people in Columbia gonna be angry. Rightfully so. Like, yo, what took you so long?
Yeah. Where's this been all season?
Exactly. So yeah, man.
You mean to tell me we can't beat a disgruntled LSU team in Death Valley, but all of a sudden we can get our act together against the A&M team in the top 5 in the nation?
Look, man, it's a tale of two teams. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I don't know. You know, I don't talk to the college football guys like that. I don't know why these things happen. They just happen. Oh man, but no, that would definitely be crazy for sure, Chris. Oh man, but hey, I guess we seen crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Crazier things have definitely happened in the world of college football, so that's for sure. So yeah, man, we will see. And lastly, our final game, Chris, on the docket, we have North Carolina taking on Wake Forest. The line right now has Wake Forest as a 5.5 point favorite. Over under is at 39.5. So look, go ahead, Chris. Let the good folks know why you got Wake Forest in this game.
Man, you know, we teased Wake Forest, these last couple weeks about how dangerous they are, and they proved how dangerous they are after beating Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough team, right there in the game against Georgia Tech. Very easily could have a win against Georgia Tech on their belt. If that's the case, we might be talking about Wake Forest as a top 25 team in the nation, Kory. Honestly, they are that close from being a nationally ranked team. And it's just something about, this team with Robbie Ashford. Is he the greatest quarterback? No. But he's a playmaker. He's a difference maker. And what he has done for Wake Forest with this tough defense as well. This is a very stout defense. And you get telling me they're going up against a bad North Carolina team with rumors that Bill Belichick is one and done? Like, this is college hoops? This is college football. They say Belichick might be one and done. Like this college basketball, Kory. So you telling me Belichick might be on the way out, and a Wake Forest team that is, we'll see how mature they are, because everybody's patting you on the back all week. But I feel like this team has a chip on its shoulder, and I don't think they are satisfied with just a win over Virginia. I think they want to continue to play well, finish this season strong. And this is a rival. It's North Carolina. There's no other reason to get hyped for this game. So yes, North Carolina should come out and play hard. It might be close in the beginning. I think Wake Forest is a better team. As the second half continues, I think Wake Forest pulls away. I see the Demon Deacons winning this game 30-20, maybe 34-20, something like that. I think they win by double digits in this one, Kory.
Yeah, I think they will too. I will say this. Look, we've given Bill Belichick a lot of flack, Chris, on this show, and just around the national media in terms of college football. It quietly trying to make a case by winning 2 more games, possibly trying to get into a bowl game. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Got to win this one. Hey, maybe a lot of people. Yeah. Maybe the fans, don't want their Bolton's bets be in jeopardy. But hey, who knows? I just had to say that just because
True.
we thought this North Carolina team, a team that the fan base left the stadium, Chris, after the first quarter. How do you recover? Look,
they're trying to.
Yeah, granted, you beat Syracuse, you beat Stanford. Not like it's some big feat, of course, to beat those teams. You should be able to beat those teams. But hey, at least you can say, at least it's safe for us to say, Chris, that they're still fighting for something.
They're still playing hard. They are.
So that's what makes this game interesting. But yeah, if I had to put my thumb to the pulse, yeah, give me Wake Forest. I'll take them in this game to win big. So no need out there to worry fans. I think Wake Forest has you covered after what I saw from them last week. So yeah, man, this gonna be an interesting set of ball games this weekend. But yeah, I think great crop.
USC Iowa.
Okay,
that's an interesting game.
Yep.
I mean, there are some matchups out there.
There are.
Got you, Illinois, Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's, nice little Big Ten matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, Baylor.
Right. South Florida, Navy this week.
Yeah, that's a good one. Texas Tech is taking on UCF.
4-5 UCF, so they're gonna be desperate.
They were also, a team that almost made the cut, and I would say, I would even say that's a bonus pick, Kory. If Texas Tech, who would we think they are? They should get right back to a whooping butt, and actually, it should get kind of ugly against UCF if we keeping it real.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, brother. Yeah,
But we mention these games just because you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what a lot of these teams might do. Look, Iowa might go into USC and put the shellacking on them. You never know.
Hey,
you never know.
Western Kentucky plays Middle Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, Kory. And I know the records look crazy now. But that game could be pretty interesting because Middle Tennessee, all their losses have been close. I don't know if you have peaked, but it don't matter who they play. It's like always a one possession loss, 6 points or less.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at sometimes I look at Conference USA games that come on midweek, and I think I had noticed that about Middle Tennessee State, and it's someone that used to previously live in the Murfreesboro, Tennessee area. Nice area out there. And they love their Blue Raiders out there, Chris. Yeah, you start looking at the schedule and you're like, man, you guys aren't that far off, man. Why can't right you seal the deal? They're like Conference USA Mississippi State edition.
They're right there. They just wait for that one domino to fall where they come through, and it ain't gonna be easy against Western Kentucky. We know how Western Kentucky gets down. Yeah, but that might be a fun game.
Look, I'm looking at it. I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. I will come back on this show live on Sunday and talk all about it. Yeah, keep my eyes out.
Tennessee does win.
Look, if they win, that would be huge. No one would have had saw it coming. Not even me.
But yeah, no, it's a fun weekend though. A lot of good games. Indiana, Wisconsin feeling himself with the big win.
Yeah,
is Wisconsin back?
Who knows? Who knows? What Badgers fans are feeling like. After that, are they feeling themselves right now? Do you think they can go out there and beat Indiana? Could they do it?
But we'll see. We'll see. That's why they play the game.
That's why you play the games. That's why you play the games. You never know. You never know, folks. Never count yourself out. Oh man, so many great games, Chris. I definitely agree with you. Missouri, Mississippi State. What happens?
I'm ready for pain, Kory. I'm ready for pain.
It's kind of sad when you go into the weekend every weekend. It's like, man, how am I going to cope this week?
Oh man, how did the Bulldogs want to hurt us this week?
Oh man,
we'll see.
We will see. We will see. It'll be game time decision. We'll see who trots out there at QB, Chris. I'll tell you this much. I want to see number one.
I think everybody does.
I think everyone wants to. Will we see them? Who knows? I'm sorry. It's leaning towards a no.
I don't know if we'll see him start, but I say this, Kory. That's why we're on the topic. Missouri goes up 14-0. If it's 14-0 after that first quarter, Kory, we will see one for the rest of the game.
I think so too. I think you're gonna have to do it.
You're gonna have to make the change. If they go up 14-0, that's the team telling you, put number one in the game. Remember when Bama kind of low key protested?
Yeah.
When Ty Simpson got his first dose against South Florida.
Yeah.
Before he became this Ty Simpson, and then everybody's like, "Nah, bro, Jalen Milroe's our quarterback." and then they had to start Jalen the next week. I think, the team might protest. We'll see. We'll see how the game plays out. But no, I would love to see Mississippi State win this game. I think Mississippi State can win this game. Mm-hmm. I almost want to say they should win this game. When you're going up against a Missouri team without Bo Prabula. Mm-hmm. But will they? We'll find out.
Look, we've seen everything from this Mississippi State squad. They have 17, 24-point leads and lose them. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. We've literally seen it all, folks.
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is. So. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, week 12. Can't wait to talk about it, Chris. Should be a fun one indeed. And yeah, we will be on here on our live episode on Sunday, breaking down all the madness that happened during the weekend. But yeah, good sir, another great episode. Got some outros before we head out of here. Let the good folks know where they can find you on social media, Chris.
Yeah, you can find me on X, or as I like to call it, Twitter, at Chris_Bolton_12. Holla at your boy, and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_.
Awesome. And yeah, folks, if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on X at Listen to KSW. On there talking college football, professional wrestling, maybe some video games from time to time. Who knows? So yeah, definitely follow me on there. But yeah, guys, definitely leave a like, comment, subscribe to the video. Let us know what's your favorite game of the week in week 12 of the college football season. We'll definitely love to hear your thoughts and all of that. Definitely tap in with us on there, and definitely check us out on our socials, of course, at BD Sportscast on TikTok, X, all of that. Follow us on YouTube, on our official Twitch channel. If you want to listen to us on podcast format, you know where to find us as well. So, but yeah, guys, we will be back on Sunday for our live episode as we go over everything that happened in week 12 of the college football season. So yeah, be sure to check us out then, as we will go over the week that was. But until next time, guys, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later.
Peace.